Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the latest episode of this RTG career. We're into number 4 here and we're in the preseason, about to finish off and get ready for the start of this season. And as you can see from our transfer budget, we have 6.7 million in the bank to spend on players before the start of this season, and we got 50,000 in wages as well. So that gives us a lot of leeway in terms of who we can afford to buy. And guys, your comments came in really nicely, and one of them was saying sign Barco. This is from Pick My Name in one of the episodes we put up, and he's a really good player, so I'm going to try and get him. He's 18 years old, 90 potential. Another one came from No Data, look for a striker. How about Martinez from Racing Club? And he's really cool as well. And another one said we could try and sign Farinez from Unattached. He's actually playing for Barcelona now. He goes up to 87. The problem with him, guys, is he has got a 16 million pound release clause, as you can see there, so he might be a bit tricky to get. But as for the other two, we will try our hardest to sign these guys. Martinez has a potential of 88. Barca has a potential of 90. So these are really good players that we could get in, and they've already got very good stats. I think they're already at like 73 and 72 at the start, so they're already first team starters. So here we are getting underway with Barco's deal, and we offered Behrens in exchange, because if we're going to be getting him in, we don't need Behrens. We've got plenty of other players in that position already. We've got plenty of wingers, and giving away one of them for 2 million like him, and they've said yes plus cash, which is really cool, and they want 6 million. I'm like, nah, I cannot afford that. So we've already cut off 2 million with Behrens, and we need to, otherwise we can't afford all these players. And we offered them 3 million, and they said no, at least 4.5. So we've got it down at least 2 million, and they want to add a 7% sell-on clause for Barco. Hopefully we won't have to sell him if we do get him. And I said I can only afford 4 million, and hopefully they'll accept that, because that's pretty high. I mean, I've only got 2 million left in the bank. Then they said sorry, but they're not willing to reduce it any further, which is really hard, guys. So we got Behrens for 2 million as a value, and then I said okay, we'll take that 4.5 or so million plus Behrens, and that equals about 6.5 million for Barco. So hopefully if we can sign a contract with him and agree on terms, we will be able to get him into our squad. He is a really good looking player. I'm really liking the idea of having him in our squad on the left wing, which will be really cool. So we're coming in here having a meeting with him now, and we just got to hope that he agrees with the terms that we are willing to offer. We've got quite a bit to spend. We said we shouldn't have too much of a problem with getting him as long as he's okay. He wants to be a starter and get regular football, and I said I agree, he should be a first team player. That's fine with me, because that's what I was going to play him as anyway. He's definitely got the stats for it, and they were looking to sign a 2-year deal. I always try, when they say whatever term they want, I always try and add another year onto it, because they usually accept an extra year. So I offered a 3-year deal just to keep him at the club a little bit longer, and they said yes, that's fine, which is good. So we're all on terms pretty nicely at the moment. The next one we're going to talk about, I think, is the release clause, to see if he wants a release clause in or not. And they said he's not interested in adding a release clause, which is good, because to be honest, I don't want a release clause just in case a big club comes in for a swoop. I don't want to just let him go. So we said nah, we don't want a release clause either, which is really good. And so everything's going really well at the moment. The next thing was his wage. This is going to be interesting, guys. We're going to make sure we don't overspend too much on wages. So we kind of kept it as low as we could and offered him 12,000 with a signing on bonus of 100,000 and 20,000 if he scores 10 goals for the club, which is very likely to happen. They said that's a fair offer. My client is happy with that, guys. So guys, our first big signing of this season is Barco. I can't believe we just got him. He's got amazing potential, as well as Gomez, obviously. And guys, we're getting straight into the next one now. Martinez, as one of you commented, to try and get him into the squad. He's 19 years old. His current stats are 73. He has a potential of 88. So if we can get him in as well, we haven't got much money left. That's the only problem. So what I'm going to try and do again is exchange for another player that we don't need, because I am trying to make a proper, really good youthful Reading squad here. And to be honest, we've got so many old players in the squad, it's easy to get rid of quite a few. So we're talking about the deal, and I offered swapping Kermogrant for Martinez, striker for striker. He's 32 years old. I mean, it might add a 1.3 million onto the transfer, and he said he would consider it, but only to bring in a midfielder. So Kermogrant was not an option for that, which is a bit annoying, but we have got plenty of midfielders who we're not really keen on having. So I offered Vandenberg, and for all you Reading fans out there, I'm sorry I'm getting rid of all the Reading players, but this is just how this RTG is going to go. We're going to be heading to the top. We're going to need better players than what Reading currently have, and they said yes, we will accept that with a cash deal of 7.4 million. I was like, holy moly, that's a lot of money. So I actually reduced that right down to 4 million and see if they would accept that, because I've just got enough to do that, as you can see from my transfer budget at the top, with a 5% of future sales. They said would you consider accepting 5.4 million and 8% of the next transfer? And even that's just doable, but it's still pretty high. So I tried to bring it down again to 5 million, because if we can get him in, guys, he'll be like our star striker. He's going to be really good, and he's got great potential. And they said that's not bad, but they think he's worth more than that, so they put it back up to 5.3 million. It was a lot of haggling going on that you guys don't even see that I had to try and get through, but I said yes to 5.3 plus Vandenberg's, which equals about 6.5 million, same as Barco, for that transfer, guys. So it looks like we might be getting him as long as we have enough money to agree a contract with him. We might just be out of money after that, but we're going to be signing two very good players. As you can see here, Martinez, guys, we're going to be heading in to negotiate his contract now, which is going to be a big thing. I'm letting you guys watch everything so that you can see how it's all going down with the players and how much we are offering them in terms of if they're going to be worth it come the end of the season, and if we're going to keep them or sell them off. So we're talking about his squad role. I offered him a crucial role to see if he'd accept that, and I think he would, because he's quite a big player, and he said yes, they were hoping for that, which is good. So he's going to be the crucial striker for the team. Brereton might take a back seat for now, depending on how he plays, and they're looking for a 3-year deal, which is good. So I'm going to offer them a 4-year deal just to try and get that extra year on top of it, as always, just to keep him around a bit longer before we have to negotiate a new and more expensive contract with him, probably when we're in the Premier League. So guys, he accepted that 4-year deal, so we got him as a crucial player for 4 years, and he's 19 years old, so we got him till he's 23. His wage now, no release clause, 11,000 wage, signing on bonus of 165,000, and 20 appearances, giving him 250k, which is a lot of money. And I was like, how about just a little bit less, because I actually couldn't afford it. I mean, look at my wage budget right now in the top left hand corner, guys. It's down to £400, and I'm like skimming the edge at the moment. And they were like, that's not quite what we were looking for, because I did lower it a lot, but they accepted it, guys. So we have got Martinez in and Barco in, and now we have no money left. Now, as for Farinez, we couldn't get him anyway because they just acquired him, and they didn't want him to go out on loan or anything, so he wasn't an option. I'm sorry about that one, and we didn't have any money, but we did get an offer through. We've got a couple more things going on in this episode, guys. We've got an offer through for Kermagran, who, to be honest, we've just bought a new striker, so we might be looking to get rid of him. So I went to negotiate this deal quickly, because 940k was just a bit too low. I mean, I'm not looking for much more for Kermagran, but guys, he's an aging player. He's like 34 years old, or 35 years old, as you can see there, and I think he's just... it's time for him to go. It's like McCleary, it's time for him to go. Grunter, I didn't mean to let go, but even then, it's probably time for some of these players to go. They're just getting too old for the squad, and they offered 1 million, and I accepted it just because that seemed quite fair. I mean, I only wanted 1.2, so it's not that much different. So I got 1 million for Kermagran as long as he accepts their contract and sells within the next few days. And guys, we're going to be heading into the calendar now, so we can see what's coming up in the next episode and the future episodes. We've got the first game of the season in the championship against QPR, which is going to be a huge game. They're quite a good side. The next game will be against MK Dons in the Cabero Cup, which will be playing lots of younger players. We got Fulham, then after that we got Aston Villa, then Preston, and then Birmingham City to finish off August, and then the transfer window will be closing. So hopefully we'll get a bit more money in before then, and we're going to be heading into our next training session. We're going to get some of our new players going in our first training session with these guys. So we're going to be putting on all the new players that we're bringing in with good potential. We're going to be putting them on some kind of training. We got Brereton there, Martinez on training, Barco here on training. He's worth a lot of money. He's worth what we bought him already. Gomez as well. He's going to be such a good player, Gomez. I can't wait for him to get better and better as he progresses into the squad. He's going to be really good. But for now, let me know in the comments who you want to see us focusing more of our training on, because at the moment we've given 1 per person for 5 people, pretty much all of our signings plus 1. And you guys can let me know who you want to see being trained more and who you want to see progressing more. Harriet's seeking a new club. I put him on the transfer list. I wasn't too keen on having him now because we've got another left wing and we don't need him in the squad. We agreed terms for Martinez, as you can see there, 4-year deal for 5.3 million. And Barco signs for Reading for a 4.55 with the addition of Behrens, and the other one was the addition of the other player as well. And guys, the player of the competition, as you can see from the next one for the pre-season tournament, was Gomez from Reading, which is awesome. It's great to see. He scored 3 goals, which is great to see him getting in there, getting the award for that. And he's been really good so far, and I'm really can't wait till the start of the season to get him in and see how he goes with all this cool stuff. As you can see, guys, that's about it for this episode. We've got a few more things we're going to look through. I mean, we signed those 2 players. I know there wasn't lots of signings, but we're making some crucial signings more than just lots of signings, and we're going to be bringing in a few more players now, I think, very soon in the next episode before we start the season off. We got an offer here for Stephen Quinn, and we're going to accept that from Birmingham just because, again, he's an aging player. He's 31. I don't think he's going to fit into the squad. We're going to do another training session here for all those same players again and see if we can do well there. And they did okay. They got C's. No one really went up much, but like Barco's already 72, Martinez is already 72, so they're already very good players in our squad, which is good. And guys, it's going to be pretty interesting the start of this season with the players we got. We got our first scout report back. We sent our scout off to Belgium, and our first reports back for the first month, and they're all average players except for this guy, man, Luca de Klerk. 15 years old. Look at that potential, up to 72 to 94. Overall starting ratings between 48 and 64, so we've definitely signed him on. He's a goalkeeper. The other players were pretty good, but none were really like world-class worthy, so at the moment we don't really need those players in just yet, and we're going to be heading out of this very soon. Just looking at some of these players, they're not bad. I mean, they're 17 and 16 years old, but the potential at the max was like 70 and 75. And I just wasn't keen on getting some half-average players in the squad when we're looking to get world-class players in, like de Klerk, as you saw there. So hopefully he might even come in as our new goalkeeper from Monone when he turns 16, which could be good to get him straight in and learning. So that way we don't have to actually sign a goalkeeper, which is probably a helpful thing. Because as you can see here, guys, he's got 56 overall already, 72 to 94 potential. So we'll leave him here in the academy until he turns 16. And as soon as he turns 16, we'll be signing him in. His kicking's already at 64. He's valued quite nicely. And that's going to be it from him. So we'll see him soon when he's 16 years old. We just sold Stephen Quinn, and we got an offer for Callum Harriott as well for 1.3 million. And to be honest, I did put him on the list, so I might sell him. As for Liam Kelly, I got an offer from Derby for 6 million. I will not be selling Liam Kelly because he will be a starting player for this season. He has great potential, so he's going to be staying with us. But as for Callum Harriott, we're going to be accepting that deal for 1.3 million that they offered, which isn't too bad. I mean, he's a pretty good player, but again, we've got better players and we're going to be building on that, guys. So that's it for this episode. Please give us a like, a share, and a subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one to start the season off. Peace out.